That should be better. Sorry guys, had to fix it.
This is the worst.
Just fixing stuff, guys. Give me a sec. Alright, still working on it. Give me a sec. Wish I could get this thing to go live. Okay. Awesome. Ah, why is it still doing the bars? This is the worst. See, I don't get why it's still doing bars though. Don't do it that way. Still bars. It didn't do bars before. Go wide. This is the worst. Why is it doing that? I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this thing to work. Give me a sec. Huh. I don't know why it won't let me go widescreen. I'm gonna mute that real quick. Wait a second. We're walking. We're walking. It's like a dream within a dream within a dream. See, it shouldn't be doing that though. I know. It doesn't make any sense. It should be widescreen. I keep trying to fix it, but it's not giving me the option. I don't know why. It's very weird. It's fucking YouTube. They're screwing with me. Because they're bastards. Alright. So, although that is super lame, and I'm not happy about it, I'm going to keep making. Even though it is deeply frustrating. Because it should not be that way. But, oh well. I know, right? It's conspiracy. They don't want a painter to get ahead. They got issues. But I figured, you know, this is fun, so why not do another live one? I've had a couple people comment on it since then and like tell me they really liked it. They were sad they couldn't be here. They said to have one at night. So that is what we are doing. Nah, they really don't though. They don't want to pay anybody. It's messed up. Oh, I checked out that video you were talking about, man. That shit was good. You got your production on your videos are so good. I'm always really impressed by it. Your narration works really well too. I have this horrible habit of mumbling through all my videos, as most people know. And I'm trying to get better about it, but you know, it's what happens. The only problem I have with this is that this is not embrace my mumbles. I got no choice, you know? I gotta embrace them. It's what makes me me. I'm gonna use my mini tripod because I like it a little better. I wish they'd stop locking me out though. I don't know why it keeps locking me out. Whatever. Such bullshit. You suck, YouTube. I want you to know I think you suck. You're frustrating. You're tempting me to pay the extra money on my own website to just host my own videos. And I'll just have to bombard people that way. It's weird though. It's weird that it's only letting me do it this way though. Because it definitely had a wide screen. No, my actual website. Because I have a website. JawsBlakeBlog.com. And like I repost a lot of the stuff from here onto that. Yeah. It just sucks because I know the bars is lame, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. Can't be helped. Whoever the second person is, hello. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. It's very nice of you. So what I'm trying to do, which this may not be coming across, is when I was in art school, my professor Elizabeth Alexander Spotswood told me that texture is like the hallmark of good angle. No, my hand's in the way. Alright. She told me texture is like the hallmark of good design. And so I'm trying to, that is not helpful. How can I do this where you can see it and I'm not blocking it the whole time? I don't know a way that I can. Oh well. Sorry guys. Told me texture is the hallmark of good art. So as good as having a blank space in your art is, it's important to always make something where it feels like it pops. It's more alive. So that's what I'm working on right now. With like 1,000 little tick marks, which is painful sometimes. Like physically painful. My hands are not loving this right now. But real art is pain. I figure I'll make these into like, probably like some type of postcard, or actually what I really want to do is I want to take this and make it into one of like shelf liners. Take like big poster paper and then have it cut out onto like, maybe have it printed on like craft paper and then use it as like shelf liner, because I think that'd be really cool. But you know, do whatever you want with it. So I've got my new website where I have my new manufacturer, which is not Society 6, because for some reason, Society 6, you can still get prints from Society 6, but Society 6 for some reason does not, people search me and they just can't find me on Society 6. And it's very easy to find me. I'm Joar Blake. I'm literally Joar Blake or Jaws Blake on everything. So it doesn't make sense to me that so many people are having a hard time finding me now. But my boy Seven went on there and bought a cassette tape print from me a while back. And let's take a break real quick. And he bought the cassette tape print from me, which is, boom, this guy. And, one sec. There we go. So he bought a cassette tape print from me on there. And he had the hardest time finding my work. I had to send him like 2 links because for some reason it just didn't show up. So now I'm doing it this way. So now I'm printing my own, which is, I think, better. Hello, other person. Hello, third person. How are you? Goodbye, third person. They were there and then they were gone. It's probably because I keep moving the camera around. But yeah, so now I'm printing my own. I'm no longer using someone else to produce and then sell something. So now it's just coming out of me. Which is cool, honestly. I think you kind of have to produce your own work sometimes. So now instead of having to buy 150 somethings every time I want to have a show, what I can do is I can order like 7 or 8, and then they'll just make 7 or 8 for me. Because typically when you want to get prints done or anything, unless you want to spend a lot of money, you typically have to buy like 100 or 16 or whatever, and it's too much. Like, I don't have money like that. I'm a painter. I make lots of work, and I'm very happy to make my work. But there's a realism aspect that comes into play. The realism aspect says there is absolutely no way I can afford to make so many copies and then have them basically cluttering my studio. I mean, the last batch of shirts I made, I've still got those. Like, I've sold a few of them. I sold like 20 of them, but I had to buy 200 of them. So I'm still getting rid of those, which is a little frustrating, but it's the cost of doing business. And I got a good deal. My friend made them. She owns like a t-shirt company, so I got a good deal on them, but it was still one of those things where like, ugh. There's something to be said about like when you try and sell something and then you end up with 180 of them in your house for a couple years, where you just start to feel kind of exhausted about seeing them and looking at them. And that can be a little kind of tiresome. A little ridiculous, if you will. And so it can get kind of crazy, you know? You're making all this stuff and you're trying to do all these things, and yeah, Actually, it's funny you asked that. Where is it? I've done that a couple times, actually. I'm trying to remember where that deck is. Let me see. I shall find it. 'Cause I painted a deck. Like a couple years ago. I still do them every once in a while. But typically it's by request. So watch the weird painting. Alright, let me find the deck. I know it's in here somewhere. My studio is a ridiculously strange and crazy filled art jungle. I don't want to horrify you with the ins and outs of it. Don't worry, I'm fine. Alright, to answer your question, I do paint skateboard decks. La Guerrera used to be my, La Guerrilla used to be my tag name back in the day. And so, I painted all types of crazy stuff. Skateboards included. It's pretty sweet. I haven't done a couple of them for a while, but thanks, man. But yeah, I'm always willing to do something. So it's just kind of a matter of when and what I get to work on. But I'm always doing something. I wish this thing would let me go widescreen. It bothers me so much. It's so unnecessary. It's such a pain in the ass. Alright. So I'm doing this in hopes that it will do well. I figure what I'll do is about 1,000 more of these strokes. At least it feels like it. No, it'll be probably another 2-3 minutes. You learn to do this in a good way, but also in a fast way. When you make tick marks with hair and all that stuff. I think it looks cool though. I think it'll look better when it's all done. And then I'm gonna go over it with some very light brown so that it has wood grain, but it's not overpowering. That's kind of the key. You want to have your design, but you don't want all your extra stuff to take away from your actual painting that you did. Because I love this, but the grain is not the focus. So I have to make it so after I've done all this detail that I mute it a little bit. Because right now it stands out a lot. And I want it to only stand out a little when this is over. So it's an old acrylic trick I learned where you can make lots and lots of details And then to make them stand out less, you then go over them. Like so. So now the whole thing is kind of covered that way. Now I gotta grab some water, and then I can make more for it. So yeah, where's my brown? I've got brown around there somewhere. So I've got to use that and look through these. So I have a brown, but I also want to use like a white, but I don't want to use like a gouache white. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a yellow. Not that yellow. Okay, so I'm gonna use my white. Use my brown, which is here. A little bit of fresh brown. Tiny little bit of fresh brown, because I don't want it to be really dark. And then some of my white. Use a lot of white because I want it to kind of blend with this color. I'm gonna use my semi brush to kind of mix it. So see how that looks? It's almost like a beige. I want it to kind of feel, see, it needs to be more brown than that because I don't want it to look like skin, but I want it to look like a good brown, like wood grain brown, because it's got to be diluted enough that it can go over what I just did, but it doesn't lose its, because I don't want to lose the texture, but I do want to lose the hardness of it. So I'm gonna do a couple test corners. Yeah, that's cool. That looks good. It's like a sexy green, sexy brown. So this will work really well when it dries. So I use cold press paper when I do this because cold press paper absorbs really, really well. With hot press paper, it's coming good actually. It's really cool. I really like the comic book. It's really kind of coming along. I've been messing around with a bunch of character designs. I'll show you in a sec. Probably gonna have to switch brushes soon because this is not a good cornering brush. It's a good evening brush, but it's not a good cornering brush. So it puts everything at even, but it does not corner very well. If that makes any sense. So we got that, got that. For this one? No, not really. It's kind of modeled after my workbench, my day job workbench. It's just I'm always missing. I work with a bunch of guys, and I'm always missing tools every day. We all kind of just go through each other's bays when we need something. So if somebody needs a screwdriver, suddenly somebody's missing a screwdriver. To be fair, the reason why that person doesn't have one is honestly just because someone else grabbed it, and they're using theirs because they didn't know where somebody else's was. We're like brothers. We just kind of act ridiculous. Steal each other's shit. But that's who we are. And they're all like my little brothers. Cool. So when that dries, that's gonna be really nice. Always missing tools. There's nothing you can do. Particularly if you're working with other people. So while this is drying, I'm gonna show you what I've been working on recently. So what I'm gonna do is, if you give me a sec, I'm gonna move some stuff. So give me a moment. Let me see. Move this. So I don't drop everything everywhere. Move this guy. Move this over here. Stare at my paint rag. So, for my book, I wanted to make a universe. So right now, I'm working on kind of a splash page where it's just this giant universe with two suns. And then, in addition to that, I hate this thing. In addition to that, I've been working on these kind of, let me show you. In addition to that, I've been working on these new kind of sketches for it. So I have to grab those because I have a million sketchbooks. So from that, I've been working on these. So this is this cool little book my friend gave me. Well, didn't give me. I bought off someone who I've made friends with who's an artist. And a little paint Altoid tin I made. Full of paints. That slide around. I have one that doesn't slide around, but this one is the easiest one to carry around with me sometimes. So I bring this one with me. So from that, I've been working on pieces for that book. So I've got my World Eater, and then I've got the Kraken. And then from that, this is just another one I was working on recently. From that, I'm kind of working on a bunch of different little sketches and stuff like that. Let's see. So, I'm trying to remember. I know it's in here. I thought it was. Maybe it's not in here. There's so many of them, kids. So many. I'm a Samoa Joe fan, so I like Samoa Joe. I may not actually have it in here anymore. Not in this one. But mostly been working on that. I mean, all these weird little kind of sketches and resketches and vamps and revamps and everything. Because I've got that one. That's the World Eater from the face view. This is the protagonist, World Eater, crashing into a world to eat it, because World Eater. My original painting of the Kraken, I don't know, I wanted to do more kind of like a crystal thing, so that's why I'm doing this style. I'm still kind of working on it, but trying to make it look more like a crystal, because it's in space, you know. So kind of like that. I'm still working on it though. The Kraken. got a little mouse. It's stupid, but it makes me happy, so I keep working on it. I'm mostly just sketching out what's gonna happen, and then I'm just gonna paint everything out on big sheets, probably like this one for the other one. That's another page of the one I'm working on for the book. My plan is to then take them. No, I've never really thought about doing it as animation. I've never really tried to animate anything. Wait a sec. So, here we go. I've never tried animation before. I think it'd be interesting to try and do an animation, but I don't have a lot of experience doing animation. I've definitely done a lot of storyboarding in my time, and I've definitely wanted to do animation. I remember there was a time when I had planned on doing like a video game type style, which I may do eventually. It's just basically kind of meeting up and matching up with a lot of people. Because I know a couple of people who are kind of into it, but they are not necessarily dependable, so to speak. So I'm trying to learn how to do a bunch of different types of stuff. Like I'm trying to learn how to like app design, kind of thing like that. So maybe I'll do like a simple app game. Well, it's not simple, but if I did an app game, I think I would make you the world eater though. And occasionally you'd have to fight the Kraken, but you'd have to eat planets. Maybe make it into like a weird Japanese like job game. Have you ever seen those? Like the weird Japanese job games where like you're a cook and you have to make sure you have to get this, and this done. Otherwise, to make people happy, you punch through the worlds, eat the substance, and then you would have to, you pick up travelers on your way, on your back. Of course you have. You'd pick up maybe like them on your back, and then you'd have to make sure your new picked up things would survive. So like they're making sure, you know, you don't die, I guess. Your injuries don't kill you. So you're feeding them, maybe you're blossoming or something. I've contemplated the idea that maybe it blossoms in a way. You could do Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail would be funny, actually. That'd be cool. That's a nice idea. I haven't seen Oregon Trail in a long time. That'd be really fun. God, Oregon Trail. Taking me back, man. I haven't played Oregon Trail since I was a child. That was cool. I have a horrible story about Oregon Trail, if you want to hear it. I probably do. So, way back. So, when I was a kid, my mom moved us from DC to, so my family's from all over, but my cat just busted in on us. Hi, Goose. So, she's making it weird. Wait a second. Goose, what are you doing? What's your plan? Hey, stop messing with stuff. So, Oregon Trail. So, she moved me from from DC to North Carolina, and we moved originally my father's from Trinidad. So we moved here, and we're here for a while, and then we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. Cats will be cats, which is to say that they are assholes. What do you want, you fuzzy monster? So, hi, Goose. So, she busted through like she was like a narc or something. So, it wasn't like closed doors, I guess. So, we moved there. I'm the only Thundercats, exactly. So, we moved there, and I'm the only, like, Afro-Latino, Caribbean kid these kids have ever met in their lives. Like, their cultural knowledge is like Mexico is Latin America as far as I know. So they've never seen anyone who talks like me or looks like me. And they were kind of assholes. Which is to say, they were completely assholes. And this one kid who, and I'm not proud of this, who was mentally handicapped. He had Asperger's, I think. It was before people started saying people had Asperger's. They just referred to them as mentally handicapped. Which, to be fair, we were like 7, so we probably didn't know those phrases. We never made fun of him, because that's not what you do. But he joined in on their games of harassing me. And we had to go to a computer lab. And he was much bigger than I was. I'm like 5'10" now. And at the time, I'm 7 years old. So I'm a very little child. And in the process of being a little child, he decides he is going to tease me, push me out of my chair, and not let me play Oregon Trail. Because we were supposed to play and have a timer. And when the timer went off, you had to switch places. He decided that because I was a little brown kid who was much smaller than him, and I mean, this kid was like a house. He was like built like a 15-year-old at age 7, so he was just a big guy. He decided that I shouldn't be allowed to play. So, in true Joara Blake fashion, I decided that the best way to get back at this child was to tell him a story about how in Trinidad they have a lot of folklore. No one stops me from Oregon Trail. Goddamn right. So he decided he was going to stop me from playing. And in the process of stopping me from playing, I tell him a story from Trinidad. So we have these things called duendes. Duendes are... Now, keep in mind, before you get too judgmental, Trinidad is very... We have a lot of, like, Afro-Latino, mostly African, a lot of Spanish, and a lot of Creole kind of beliefs. So, in that process, we have things called like duendes and lagahu and stuff like that. Now, lagahu is a demon that pretends to be a puppy or a cat or a pig and makes little kids, will play with children and then trick them into walking into the woods where they're lost forever. And then they're turned into lagahu, and then they do it to other children. It's a way to keep kids from going into the jungle, basically, going into the bush. And duendes is another thing. Duendes is something they came up with to get people to baptize their children right when they're born. So duendes are the spirits of children who were not baptized, who come to grab little children in their sleep. There's so many different things that they have. They have like a fireball, which I don't remember, and it basically chases people in the forest. so you're not supposed to be in the forest. There's also a Papagua and Mama Sao. Mama Sao is a beautiful woman with cow feet. I don't know what her significance is. Papa Sao, I don't remember what he is, honestly. I think he's like time, maybe. I don't know. So I tell this kid, whose name was Jason. I tell Jason, as a tiny child, that when he goes to sleep, a Lagahu, a Dwin is going to come into his room and eat his soul. With my accent at the time. And apparently he didn't sleep all night. And I got in a lot of trouble the next day. And I had to write like an apology letter to his mom and to him and to the school. And they told me they were going to tell my mom, but they never did. She doesn't watch any of my YouTube videos, so I don't ever have to explain this to her. So I never got to actually play Oregon Trail. It was, I think one of the things they actually decided was, for my punishment, was that I wasn't allowed to do computer lab after that. So I never got to. And that is my Oregon Trail story. Side note, I have played Oregon Trail. Fuck them. I have played Oregon Trail since then. I played it much older. I finally picked up a copy on my old laptop like 10 years ago, and I played it, and everyone died of mysterious diseases, and a couple people wandered off, and I shot too many snakes and moose and oxen, and it was too much to carry, so I wasted a lot of meat, which is amazing because I haven't eaten meat since I was like, this is actual reality. I haven't eaten meat since I was like 22. So I'm 35 now. So you do the math because I don't want to. It's been a long time. I haven't eaten meat since my hair last time wasn't in dreads. Because I had dreads once and then I cut them off. My hair was blue. I dyed my hair blue with a friend of mine, Mike, and it was blue and it was cool, and my mom didn't like it, so she made me shave my head. And then 10 years later, I thought it was cool. I have no photos, sadly, except a really bad Polaroid somewhere in my mom's house in North Carolina, and she talked me into actually growing my dreads back out. And she actually did this. She set up my dreads for me. 2008. So almost 10 years ago now. I've had my dreads since then. And I've only trimmed them once because my neck was killing me. And my hair is really long. My hair probably grows actually really, really fast. So I'm going to do this because I keep shaking this and I know that's nauseating for you. That's basically what I did. That's my long hair, blue hair, Oregon Trail. I made a boy cry who was much bigger than me when I was a small West Indian Latino kid. It's exciting. I know. It's amazing. I tell great stories. I want to tell you. Thank you. No, I was always one of those kids who was just always told via my grandmother, my cousins, and stuff like that, not to take shit from other people. So I just don't. Even now, I'm not good about taking shit from people. I'm just not. I paint. I mean, shit, man. I paint naked people a lot. So I learned a long time ago that, you have to stand up for yourself. I hope all the people from my students who are young and I hope don't watch my videos. Maybe they do. I don't know. I hope that in some way, shape, or form, the artists who I know who are very passionate and very like amazing are. Wait a sec. I'm reading this. Yeah, that's true. I do remember that Outkast album. It was like AT Aliens. God, yeah. Naked. They had the naked people. That's what we did. 90s babies. We all know those albums. Hooty hoo. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I hope that in some way you see what I make. And when I say always making, it's because your creativity should never be slowed down by anybody else's bullshit. That's the truth. I mean, I live my life making all the things that I make, and doing all the things that I do, and trying to be all the things that I am, which is an illustrator, a painter, a storyteller, a filmmaker, a horrible monologuer, a pet owner, a husband, a mechanic, a dreadlock pierced tattooed person, a Afro-Latino Caribbean man who's proud of all those sides. And I hope that it inspires other people to be proud of who they are and what they do. I am doing well. I've been painting for almost 30 years now. And in the process of painting for 30 years, I have learned a lot. And I have made a lot of mistakes. But those mistakes have not crippled me from trying to continue to make cool things that are at least fun for me. Even if they're not fun for anybody else, they're fun for me. And my hope is that you and everybody else who likes my stuff at least feel a little bit more secure about what they make and what they do, because it makes them happy. Because this is the only reason I do all this is because it makes me happy. The only reason I paint the crazy things I paint is because it makes me happy. I have lost so many art contests throughout the years. I did win like 3. None in my adulthood, actually, have I won. Well, no, that's not true. I won one when I was 21. And it was a website one. So that's how that worked out. But it is what it is, man. Okay. I gotta go. All right. So this is the end. My phone is gonna die again, but I plugged it back in. So I do have a video coming out on Friday. Please check it out. Painter Files for Life. Adios. Ciao. Painter out.